Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer, welcome back to Farming Simulator 19, and welcome back to Marwell Manor Farm by Oxygen David. So we haven't spent a lot of time on, well, we spent a little bit of time on FS19, then we stepped away. I've been kind of dipping a toe back in it, and this is Marwell Manor Farm. It's a mod farm, obviously a mod farm, and I like it. This is the only field we own. This is field 10, I want to say? Field 7. This is field 7. And we did bring it in. We got about, I think, 100,000 liters of wheat. So we got a little bit of money out of it. We bailed up, I bailed up the far side of it, got it stacked, more or less, got it stacked on our bale trailer. And I did swap out a few tractors and get some other equipment because we're getting ready to flip this field, and it's the only field we own. So, of course, we brought everything over here. And no seasons, so we can prep and plant this field straight away. So I did, previously we had a John Deere 6. I swapped that out for a smaller 6. This is a 6115, I want to say. Let me go on the right side. Make sure I got the right number. This is a 6155, and I did put the council tires on it. And then we also got a 7310. We got a broadcast spreader, which is full of lime at the moment, and then we also got a big 8 series, and we're going to use that to pull our subsoiler and do some other heavy chores around the farm. These are all by Bone Crusher, by the way, and I believe the best place to get Bone Crusher mods is from the Forbidden Mods website. They're a little bit, I wouldn't say dodgy. I mean, you can, they aggregate mods, so you'll see mods by the Forbidden Modding team on there, and those are legit, but you'll also just see regular mods, you know, from who knows where. So as always, you know, buyer beware. That's why I don't post links for mods. I can tell you where to get them, but I don't necessarily like to link to them, because who knows, I would never want to send you to a site with I would never want to link you to a site that is dodgy. Let's get rid of this thing for the moment. So yeah, it's still, you know, FS19 is still different. You know, it's different, and I got some rather disheartening news. One of the developers of Gearbox said on GitHub, and apparently this is legit, they said on GitHub that Giants last time around did not release the scripting information for like 6 months. So apparently we're looking at waiting like 6 months for some of the scripting to come out so that we can have mods like Gearbox again. And I mean, I know it sounds sometimes in these videos like I'm really down on Giants, or sometimes on gaming in general, and I'm not. I love gaming. It's my thing, man. I love it. But what I am serious about is these developers. I do feel like we need to hold their feet to the fire. I feel like we need to really keep them accountable, because they have our money. You know, these games, it's not like they give us these games and then later we decide how we feel about them and pay based on that feeling. If you want these games, you pay up front. And if what you get is buggy or not tested or half done or whatever, oh well, you know, if your window has passed with Steam, whatever it is, 20 minutes, 2 hours, tough luck, you know. So I don't hate game developers. I don't hate publishers. I'm not mad at them. I just feel they need to be held accountable, and there are some behaviors from developers that I feel a need to call attention to. So at the same time, we also have an announcement that the first paid DLC is going to be released, and it is, I want to say, Anderson Equipment. Not a brand I'm super familiar with, but there's a paid DLC being released, and arguably the game isn't even done yet. It still has some bugs, still has some glitches. So I think, you know, okay. Now, to be fair, money that's about as real as it gets for anybody. For an individual, for a company, and you know, payroll is a very real thing Payroll is a huge expense in any business, and if you have 15 or 20 or 100 employees, payroll that's a lot of money. And I know I've done consulting projects for companies that, straight up, they've said out loud to me, not necessarily to their employees, but they have said straight up to me, like, if we don't sell a project at the end of this week, I don't have a way to pay my employees. I can't write paychecks this week. And that becomes a huge problem, because a lot of people, the first week you don't pay them, they're out. Some people will stick it out. All right, just pay me when you get it. But a lot of people, if you ain't paying me, I ain't working, and they're gone. And what happens then is now you don't have enough people to finish your project. So we're going to we're trying to get down to that sort of center spot between field 17, 18, and 19. I'm trying to think of the best way to get there. I guess, tell you what, let's go here and see. This is a photorealistic map. Is it EDM, EOM, EOMD, something. Yeah, we're just going to make a left and then a right and then another right. Okay. Now, if you see, like, looking right here in the center of the map, you can see buildings here. This is actually an empty area that I want to go check out. And I should have been able to spot it, because that's where you spawn in. But I just never really paid much attention to it. Ooh. I never really paid much attention to it because, there's nothing there. But I think... Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh. Oh, Giants. And your traffic. Oh, God. Oh, this game. Oh, my goodness. I love that the defense of that is, hey, it's not driving and traffic simulator. It's farming simulator. And I think, well, then take the damn traffic off, because it's terrible. I know you can turn it off, but Jesus. All right, where are we going here? Right, so yeah, I understand that, these companies may seem big from a distance, but up close, who knows what Giants is dealing with. Or, at the same time, it could just be a cash grab. It could just be that they could give two shits about their customers. We've already bought the game, and now it's like, all right, how do we squeeze more money out of them? It really could be that cynical. But regardless, the game is arguably not even done yet. They have apparently limited the ability of the modders to finish it for free on their behalf. And then on top of that, they have the audacity to release a paid DLC that we get to buy. Okay. All right. So it goes. So we're looking for this area, and the reason we're taking our bales down there is, I believe this could be the place where we want to put our cows or our sheep. And the reason I think that is, we have pigs and chickens on the main farm, what could arguably be called the main farm. But there's a big flat area that I think would be just perfect for some other animal operations. And I have to think that's by design. So we're going to drop these bales off there. Not at the moment, not straight away, but we're going to eventually... concentrating. We're going to eventually, I think, build a cattle enclosure down here. And this is the best place to put the bales for the moment. And also, we don't have any problems with rotting. So we can just leave these bales on the trailer down here. It's that you may have seen when I hooked it up. The trailer is an auto load trailer, and it doesn't work. The auto load feature doesn't work. Whoever put it together just kind of slam dunked it. Okay. So this is not an area where we spawn, but there's a little flat area there. Now I'm curious how big this is. I think maybe we could fit sheep in here or small cattle, but I don't think we could fit the big cattle enclosure in here, because the big cattle enclosure is pretty big. And this map already has horses native. Okay. Living and learning. Right. So yeah, and then on that same topic, Train Sim World is releasing a DLC soon, which is going to be the DBBR 182, and they're going to add it to the Leipzig route, which is the Rapid Transit DLC. And it was interesting because the comments almost immediately lit up. Yeah, look at this place. Look at this. This is, I think we could definitely fit some cows in here. It's got a little bit of grass off to the side. So yeah, we're going to drop these bales for now, and then we will come back. Oh, okay. I see. I really have not explored this map a ton. Oh, heavy. I'm using the correct weight mod, which effectively doubles the mass of any cargo or trailer. Oh, this is fantastic. Look at all these flat spots. Oh, Oxygen David, you are the man. Thank you, brother. This is beautiful. This is what I wish Giants would have done in the base game maps. We need big, flat places to build because the placeable objects are a little bit, you know? So yeah, Train Sim World is, they're releasing a DLC. The thing is, we already own the DBBR182. If you own the Ruhr-Signor DLC, you already bought that loco. And if you own Rapid Transit, if you bought Rapid Transit, then you already own the Leipzig route. So immediately the comments lit up and people are like, wait a minute, you're going to sell us two things we already own? What? Yeah, they are. They're going to take something that they've already created and simply add it to a route that you've already bought. And this is one of those moments where people are like, do you hate us? Really, developers, do you like actually hate your customers? What are you doing? And they're making money is what they're doing. But again, I'm not saying that every time a developer does something like that they're just like trying to squeeze money out of your pocket. They may be trying to survive. They could be, you know, they could be that they just really like money, but who knows? Who knows? But yeah, that is that's a little bit heavy, I have to say. Like to read about that and think like, yeah, okay. You're going to sell us something we already bought. All right. And that game is really broken too. Train Sim World has been out for a couple of years, and it's badly broken. Particularly the Rapid Transit route, the Leipzig route, has all kinds of problems that the developer seems to have no intention of fixing. It's been 2 years. It's I don't know, man. I don't know. And like I said, I love these games, but I don't see any reason why we cannot hold these developers accountable with our commentary on Reddit. You know, the various options that we have to let these developers know, hey, you know, not cool. But ultimately, if we keep buying the games, you know, that's how we really sort of vote. That's how we really let these developers know how we feel. We just don't buy the games anymore. But particularly with something like Farm Sim, I think they know we'll buy these games. We will. So, you saw I took the trailer over there with this 7 Series. Part of the reason I did that is because it was like 30,000 pounds of bales, and I did want a slightly bigger tractor. And the other reason is we have a weight on the back of our little 6 that we use to load up. And we would have had to drop that weight, haul the trailer over, then come back and pick the weight up to go back and unload it. So if we had to make 2 trips anyway, why not make one of them in a bigger tractor that would be better suited to hauling that extremely heavy trailer? So, that's what's going on so far. How are we doing on time? 14 minutes. So, what do we want to do now? We want to do a little baling? You want to bale up the rest of this field, or do you want to spread some, let's do that. Let's finish up the baling. Right, so we're going to select our rear weight, lower it, drop it. I'm going to leave this front loader and spike on the front for a little bit of weight. I'm trying to think if I can sneak it in there. Yeah, I think I can. I think I can. Got it. Got it. Too close. Right there. There we go. Right. So yeah, accountability is what I'm after. And I've been reading a lot about these things. I told you I've spent some time on Digital Foundry and really seen them sort of lift the hood, lift the bonnet on some of these games. I've been spending some time on Reddit and hearing what I assume to be knowledgeable people talking about underlying code and scripting of these games and how I don't know how old you are. I assume that there are people of all different ages. From the comments that I get, I think I've got a lot of different ages of people checking out my channel, which is cool. I don't know how old you are, but I can tell you that for most people, when you're a kid, you look around you at the world and you're like, God damn, look at all these grown-ups. They're so awesome. They're so together. Look at all the cool stuff they get to do. They get to drive and make money, go on vacation. That's so cool. And as you get older, those people sort of gradually disappear. And then at some point you end up, as an adult, you look around and you're like, where's all the cool people at? Like, what happened? There were so many cool people when I was a kid, and all I see around me are these dipshits, right? I see all these like inept people that can't do anything. Where's all the grown-ups at? And the thing is, that's them. They're still there. They just looked very different from a distance when you were a kid. So when you get into business, or at least when I got into business, it was strange for me to look around these businesses and think, you know, from a distance, they look so like organized and together and, you know, organized. And then you get up close, you see these businesses from inside, and it's like, Jesus, how are you keeping this going, man? This is a circus in here. What are you doing? And that's the way a lot of businesses are. It's the way a lot of it's the way a lot of stuff is. I was in motorsport for a time, not as a driver, but I was involved in motorsport, and it's crazy. I think with the exception of Formula One. I think Formula One, because of the branding and because of the advertising money that's involved, Formula One cars, I have to say, are the only cars that look as good up close as they do on TV. But for the most part, race cars up close look like they're about to fall apart. Even like the really, really like the highest levels of racing, up close, it's like, oh, and it's because they're all like smashed up constantly and put back together from the pieces that survived the crash. Even Indy cars up close don't look like they do on TV. You know, on TV, going by at 150 miles an hour, they look, and then you see it up close, and it's like, oh, that's a little scary. And it is. Sports cars are even worse. And NASCAR, I think, is the worst of all. But what I'm saying is, they look good from a distance. They look good from your house. But up close, it's like, Jesus, that's unnerving. And I think business is the same way. So, you know, going on Reddit and reading about the base code for Fallout 76, and Bethesda, you know, one of the biggest studios, one of the biggest developers, and you read what certainly seems to be, I don't know this, but it certainly seems to be some pretty knowledgeable commentary about the base code of Fallout 76, and the takeaway is this was never going to work for multiplayer, and the game's only purpose from the jump was to be multiplayer. How do you make a mistake like that? And that's what I'm saying about business and about people in general, is there's a lot of people that, you know, they seem very together. There's a lot of businesses that seem very, you know, whatever. And they seem that way right up till the day they file for bankruptcy, and all senior management like says no comment and disappears. Heads off to Ibiza. I'm done with it. So who knows? Who knows? And Bethesda is certainly a bigger company than something like Giants or Dovetail. While we're going a little fast here for our Baylor. But it's interesting. And as I said earlier, and I'll continue saying this, I think these developers know we'll keep buying these games, so there's really no pressure on them. And even when there is, even when we do sort of vote with our wallet, as they say, there's no guarantees. You know, look what happened to Medal of Honor, arguably like one of the inventors of the genre, right? And when their sales dropped off far enough, the company just essentially like broke up, and everybody went on to do different things for different companies. But they didn't get it together. They didn't see the drop in sales as a call to action. You know, we better get ourselves together and make a better product. They just quit making products altogether. So who knows, man? Who knows? But I know this DLC thing, both Giants and Farm Sim and Train Sim World. I know that DLC thing is kind of rubbing me the wrong way, I have to say, and apparently a lot of other people too, because the comments are definitely like, hey, before you start asking me for more money, why don't you finish the game that I already bought? Oh, sick burn. But you know, they'll do what they'll do, and we will too. I don't know. I mean, there's nothing inherently wrong with FS19 that isn't also wrong with FS17, and it's so irritating to me that I can't get into this game without seasons, because it's a natural progression, right? I started on 15, loved it, moved on to 17 when the mods caught up, loved it, added seasons, really loved it, and then we went to 19, and for me it's like a giant step backwards. That's why I'm still on 17. So it is frustrating, because there's so many cool things about 19 that I think make it a step forward, but they also just took so many things away that it's a big step back. Now, I also, in that same Reddit, I did come across multiple people saying that in the past the developers have worked with modders ahead of time with the scripting and code to help them get a jump on their mods. And I'm wondering how much of that has to do with cattle and crops, because so many of the big modders are now, well, they sort of form the company that is making cattle and crops, and I wonder how much of that, you know, sort of holding back on the code. I wonder what's going on behind the scenes between Giants and, is it Masterbrain Bytes? Yeah, the company that's trying to develop cattle and crops. I wonder sometimes, like, what's the real deal there? A little palace intrigue behind the scenes, which is also hilarious when you think about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Game of Thrones. It's like Billions, right? I don't know if you've seen Billions. Is that on Showtime? Yeah, Billions. It's like Billions, but instead of big time New York hedge fund money, it's like we're looking for that. We're looking for them farm sim dollars. It's like a farm sim mafia, a Swiss farm sim mafia. That seems very unlikely, but you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. Right, where are we at on time? 23 minutes. I'm going to finish up the baling. You want to go a little bit long today? Yeah, let's do it. I'm just looking to get this chaff off the field. And then what I'm probably going to do is go to the far side of the field with the... Yeah, let's do that. Let's get the rest of this straw off the field. Did I call it chaff? I meant swath. Oh, these farming terms. So many farming terms. I'm going to get this straw swath off the field. And then we're going to take the broadcast spreader to the far side of the field where there are no bales. Plenty of room to work over there. I'm going to spread a layer of lime till we run out. And then we're going to hop in our 8 series and get our subsoiler going. And I believe, now I know there were subsoilers in FS17 that counted as plowing. In FS19, it actually says in the store that the subsoiler can be used in lieu of a plow. But for some reason, I feel like, we'll take a look. But for some reason, I feel like in 19, subsoiler does not count as a plow, even though it says it does. We'll take a look. So, and what, there was one other thing I was going to tell you. One other thing. It was something. I can't remember. I can't remember. But yeah, man. So it goes. We're just farming and talking about games. That's what we do here. You know. Get this one dropped off. Make our big turn here. Beautiful. And I'm trying to think, was there one other thing? I feel like there was one other thing I wanted to tell you. I can't remember. I can tell you this. I'm going to, off camera, I'm going to go unload those bales over at the placeable area and get that trailer empty, and then I'm going to sell it because it's essentially worthless. It's a mod of just the regular Flegel DPW dolly trailer, which I think exists in base game, or it may have been added by Giants later, but you can definitely just get it, and then somebody badly ported the auto load script onto it. Going too fast again. So we don't need the one with the auto load script because it doesn't work. So what I'll do is sell that, get it out of my mod folder, and then just go back to a regular Flegel DPW from Giants without the auto load. And I'll pick up the rest of these bales and take them over. We'll have all these bales over at the placeable area. I'd like to put them in the grass, put them way out of the way, because we don't know where our cattle enclosure is going to land over there. There we go. Right, one last row. And I think this is going to have to be a sandbox map. I mean, and from one perspective, without seasons, I guess it's all sandbox, because you can really just do whatever you want. But like I said, we can get this field flipped and seeded straight away. We don't need to wait for anything, so we'll get that going. And next week, what do you want to do next week? I'll go ahead and finish this field off camera. I'll get it the rest of the way prepped and get the bales out of the way, and then next week maybe we do drill some. I guess it makes the most sense to drill canola in here, because we have plenty of straw bales. We don't need any more wheat, so we'll plant some canola or whatever is selling for the most money, because we do need to make some money. And this field will be everything. It'll be plowed, it will be limed, it will be double fertilized, and then we'll weed it, and hopefully we'll have a huge canola yield and make some money, start to get out of debt. Right, and I'm going to go right up here. All right. Come on. A little bit more. Right there. Lift the pickup, shut it down, and then I'm going to spin it around and empty it. Get the bales out. All right. Done and done. There you go. So we get this folded up, park it on the side, and we'll hop in our 7 Series. We can pull that up right there. Take the weight off the hydraulics, but we will leave it running. And that's an 8. There's a 7. There's a 7 way over there. Right. I did not get. I always get the wide spreaders, the 18-meter spreaders. I did not get them this time. I wanted to see what this thing is like. I've really never used it with just the 12-meter. The 12-meter spread, and it's crazy because 12 meters. I mean, most of the. What is that bale doing over there? Oh, did I forget that one? OCD. Moment, please. Can't have that. Sorry, man. If you're OCD, you understand. You get it. Right. So hop in here. Drop that. Lift that. Over here. Right back here. Got it. Got it. Now it says this spike, or rack, or whatever you want to call it, it says it has grab hooks, but I haven't been able to find a way to activate them. So I have not been grabbing. But I can tell you I did stack 4 high, and with the weight on the back, even with the adjusted mass mod, with the weight on the back, this 6 Series was able to lift 4 bales, no problem. A little bit light in the rear, but nothing problematic. Is that all of them? That is all of them. Fantastic. So how many more did we get? Looks like I count 5, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, 16. So 16. So we had 32 on the trailer for the first, and then 16 more. Yeah, this is pretty much all the straw bales I think we could need for the longest time. You know what? We're just going to gather those up again. So I'll leave this one on here, but I will lift just a little bit. Right. Now we're ready to spread some lime. I love the weeds. I do. I think that's a great addition, but as always, if it's not tied to seasons, or if it's not on some kind of a, you know, if there's not some kind of structure, if it doesn't make sense, then it's like, you know, what are we doing here? We're just like chasing the dragon, acting goofy is what we're doing. We need a plan. All right. So I'm going to do a headland first. Oh, that really isn't very wide at all. Okay. Is to be expected. However, it's being very thrifty with the lime. It's really not going through it very fast at all. Okay. So we'll see how much we can get done here. And I do want to, I mean, hopefully get this corner of the field done a little bit. And then I'll finish the rest off camera. Now, I also did download the beta of a GPS type mod. And really not, all it does is hold steering. But it doesn't hold steering on any specific axis. Like, you can't, at least I haven't found a way to, like, create a macro and then have it lock to the same heading, the same compass heading, like, every time. I haven't found a way to do that. It just kind of locks the steering, regardless of what direction you're heading. So that's a little, you know. But again, if the developers have not released the source code to let people get into scripting, then what are they going to do? You know, there's just no way around it. Well, this is interesting. Oi. I was just saying, looks like our lime is going pretty far, but we got, like, I don't know what that would represent as a total of the headland all the way around the field. Maybe a third of one headland. Yeah, we're going to need to refill this thing approximately 8,000 times to get this whole field done. But we ain't scared. Just go back this way. Yeah, it's going to take us a lot of trips to the lime refill. Now, we do have one on the farm, which is nice, but it's going to take a minute. And this, I don't know. I feel like these are some things that could be addressed in patches, in the same way that the hard manure in 15, I want to say 15 was when it was really, really broken. But in 15, you could put, 50 or 60,000 liters of manure in a spreader, and you could get like one length in one field. you would literally need to spread. You would literally need to spread 600,000 or 700,000 liters of hard manure to cover a field, which I found to be completely unrealistic. And just, that's not complicated coding. That's not, physics or AI or anything. That's just simply adjusting a value. And eventually they did, and the hard manure is, for all intents and purposes, fixed. So when I look at something like this lime, I think, are we kind of in the same boat here? Like, how much lime would it take in real life to cover this entire field? And I'm not saying that I want it nerfed, but you know what I mean? Like, ask a real farmer. You say, these are the dimensions of your field. This is its area. This is the spreader that we have. Is it Bednar? Yeah, that holds 14,000 liters. And he's going to grab his little farm calculator and say, you should need to fill it, 3 times or 5 times. You say, should I have to fill it 15 times? No, definitely not. So, as always, it is what it is. But there are, from time to time, there are issues with this game that make me wonder, like, what were the developers thinking? Or were they thinking at all? Right. Right through there. And then we're going to hit this one time with our subsoiler, and we'll call it. And I'll finish the rest off camera. And I imagine what I'll do is put the subsoiler on coarse play. I may finish the lime manually, but I'll put the subsoiler on coarse play and pick up the rest of those bales while they're working, while the subsoiler is getting after it. And I am curious if it's going to count as plowed. So we'll do a few passes with the subsoiler, and then we'll take a look and see if it's plowing. I want to say the German map, the German base map, vanilla map. I want to say it didn't count as plowing. Hard to say. It all runs together after a while. All right. And I think we should be able to get to the end of this row. And then we'll run across and grab the other. This is relaxing, though. This is my favorite part of the game. Is when you just kind of, just kind of doing your thing in your groove. That draw distance, though, oy, I will never get used to that. And it's cranked out. I think everything, all my distances are on 200%. So there's no magic setting that you can find on Farm Sim where you can push your draw distance out and actually have it go to the horizon. Like, it's, that's just part of the game. Been that way forever. All right, I don't know if we're getting all the way to the end. We might make it all the way. It's gonna be close. Gonna be close. All right, 400, 300. Yeah, we're gonna make it. Are we? Are we? Oh, look at that. Oh, so close. So close. Right, so let's get this over here out of the way. Hop in our 8. We'll do a couple passes, take a peek, and then we'll call it. Right there. I'm still not used to not having to set the brake. I run the Black Panther Group modding air brake mod. And if you don't set the brake, your tractor will drift away. So I am always looking to set my brake when I park a tractor. Right. 8 series. And this, I believe, is 440 on the horsepower. And this tool requires 450. But we're not running more realistic or gearbox or drive control. So I think we should be okay. And I am going to start with the headland because we're not going all the way around. We shouldn't have to drive on this part of the field too often. I don't think. Right. Cruise control. What's a good speed? Let's say 12 kilometers per hour. Cruise control. Drop it. There we go. No problem maintaining our speed. And I think I'm also running the improved dirt and terrain textures. Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds like something I would do. So I want to say my dirt looks better than base game dirt. Some lights on back here under the trees. Oh, that's interesting. Is that new? That we now have lime all over the tires? Is that new? I don't remember seeing that before. Oh, I wonder if that's part of the dirt. Interesting. That looks fantastic. You seeing that? That looks... That is immersive. I love it. Alright, well that perked me up a little bit. I wasn't in a bad mood. I'm never in a bad mood when I'm gaming. I love gaming. But... like I said, I do believe in accountability. So it sounds like I'm whining a little bit, you know, going on and on, bitching and moaning, but it's mostly just about accountability. But credit where credit is due, and that looks fantastic. Oh, I mean, I would love to see that lime splashed all over the fenders as it would be in real life, but on the tires, I'll take it. That looks great. All right, so I'm gonna lift this. Spin around. Do one more pass before we out on time. 42 minutes. Okay. Here. I'm not worried about driving on this soil because we haven't done anything with it yet. So we'll give it some love, and we don't need to worry about compaction at the moment because we still have to subsoil it and aerate it. There we go. Beautiful. And this is a wide enough area that when we look at the map, we'll be able to see whether this was effective in counting as a plow layer. Sometimes if it's just a very narrow stripe on a big field with a small tool, it can be hard to see it with the resolution on the map. But I think, yeah, this ought to give us an indication. How are we doing on time? 43 minutes. Perfect. And I do like the birds. It took a while for the birds to kind of grow on me, but I think that is a very, very immersive touch. And I'm looking forward to a mod maker creating the birds that follow behind a drill. I don't know if you've ever seen that in real life, but when you're drilling a field, there is just like a swarm of birds, like an Alfred Hitchcock creepy, like dense cloud of birds that immediately behind the tractor with the drill or the planter or the seeder, whatever you want to call it, immediately behind that tractor, they just descend on the field looking for seeds. Right, so we'll head down here. See how we did. Lift that. Stop right there. No brake to set. I'm actually going to hop out here. Oh, that's a nice picture. There we go. Get rid of that. There's your thumbnail. Beautiful. And then let's take a look at our map and see if we got... Where's our field? There it is, field 7. See if we got... Needs plowing. Okay, so turn off that. Turn off that. Turn off that. Yep, that does count as plowing. Fantastic. That's what I was looking for. There you go. Let's get back out of this. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out The Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Farming Simulator 19 from Marwell Manor Farm by Oxygen David. And we'll see you next time. Take care now.